Good morning, people. Good to see everyone in here this morning. All one of me. Let's see if I can get this to work right. Okay. Well, there's one of me in here. Are we working now? Okay. Hopefully we are working now. Okay, there we are. Okay, guys. Hi. Hi, Jim. Good morning. Wilson, what's up? It's kind of weird. I see two or three of you here, but it's only saying I have one person waiting for the schedule. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna back out my computer for just a second and bring back up. But I'll be here. I'm just gonna fix something on my computer here. It's weird. This morning I tried to get onto my channel, and it said you're not signed in. It's the first time in 2 years it said that to me. So all of a sudden, I'm trying to find my password and everything, so I can see what's going on. It's kind of weird. So got Michael and Jim in here. Good. Good morning, guys. I thought I just kind of my wife was asleep when I came out here. She since woke up, but my wife was in here, and so I figured I'd come out here and do a little work. And I've got this nice piece of walnut that I haven't explored yet. So I thought we might try that and see what it'll do. I'm not being doing perfect setup on this. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. But I think I'm in the middle. We'll find out when I just go in on the lathe here. So what's everybody up to today? It's a really nice spring day here. It's going to be probably about 80 degrees. There's something there. We'll worry about that in a second. Well, there seems to be something really hard right in there. I'm not sure when you see on the other side, I got this big gap. So, not sure what's keeping this from going in properly. It's going off to the side when I do that. It moves off to the side every time. I'll try a different screw just to see. There we go. Yeah, maybe it was the screw, I don't know. But anyway, got it on there. Let's pretty hefty little chunk of wood. And my plan B for today was to make a little winged bowl out of this piece of burled oak. So maybe still get to that too. We'll see. What's been running lately with these pieces? They haven't exactly been cooperating. So I'm going to use my one way if I can. There we are. There we are. See, are we swinging free? Yeah, this is about, it's roughly a 7-inch bowl, which is a nice size. It's not too big or too small. It's just kind of nice in between there. Okay. And get my mask on. Let's see what you got saying here. Hey Paul, good to see you. And 26 people. Okay, well let's get this going. Please hit the like button. It's been kind of light lately, and I'm not quite sure why. It would be nice to have likes like Dave gets at Timber Designs. I mean, he's a likable guy too, but you know, don't think I wanted 1200 RPM at the right away. Let's get this kind of squared off if we can first, or rounded, I should say. Always rough that first time through. You know, I'm going to go with the other. Yeah. This one's a little thin. Go with the heftier gouge. There we are. Now we're back on. Huh. All right. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what's going on this morning. Earlier, just before I went on, I couldn't. My signal went completely away, and yet it said that I couldn't even test it. And then everything came back on again, and that's Xfinity. It's not me. It's Comcast Xfinity. But I had backup, and the backup should have kicked in, and it wasn't kicking in using my cellular when the Xfinity's not working. It didn't kick in, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Getting sort of close. Okay. Sort of round. Just try to get an angle on this. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think we got somewhat round now. Little bit of a flat spot right here, but we're getting really close to it now. So I should be able to pick up the speed a little bit. Boy, if this is an indication of how it's going to fight me on the inside, I mean, we got a store cut out for me here. This doesn't want to bite. It keeps tossing me off that bite. I'm not quite sure why. There. It's still a little rough. Still not quite rounded for some reason. But I think I can work with it now. Phew. That was a lot of cutting. And I'm covered. I'm covered in stuff. So yeah, I know. Without my smock on, yeah, yeah. Thanks for noticing that, Jeff. Yeah, no, I decided not to wear the smock this morning because this is a pretty dirty old shirt anyway. So you know, we'll see. The smock, yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, now I got two smocks, right? So I should be wearing one, but you know, I decided I'll just go without today. I'll wing it, you know, so to speak. It's very dry. Actually, I prefer putting walnut when it's green and then letting it sit and then finishing it. Because it's a very hard wood, as you can see. beginnings of round, and it's starting to unscrew again here. Boy, it is just crazy. I'm not sure what's going on with these. I guess it's all that banging. It's just causing the screws to loosen up here too, because I got a little bit of loosening right here. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So maybe I'll have to go with a longer screw or something. These two right here. The others are staying put, but these two aren't. So let me go with see if I can go with a longer screw here. That really handy. This may be a really long screw, but let's see if we can do it. Boy, there's just some hard wood down there. Whoa! That screw actually got piping hot just doing that. Okay, pro tip, just, yeah. I know. Pre-drill helps also. Yeah, pro tip. Yeah, you're right. When you take a shot, if you don't clean out your smock first, you're right. You can really have a problem. Let me drill out that hole a little bit, see if that makes a difference here. I'm not sure that it will, but we'll try. I got to get along with the extension there. Well, it's already drilled down pretty far. I'm not sure what we're going to do to get that in there, but we're going to get something in there. I'll try this. Boy, when you can't even get your wood into the round, that's kind of an indication maybe it's not a good day to return to that piece of wood. Boy, it just doesn't want to go down. I'm not sure what to do with this. The others are holding good, but it needs to have a screw. Boy, just putting that little bit of pressure in there, just a little bit of pressure, and the screw gets really hot. Yeah. We'll see if that'll hold. I'm keeping an eye on it because that's crazy. And I think just to be on the safe side, I'll go over here and sharpen the tool a little bit too to make sure that it's working properly. Because we're going to have these kind of problems early in the turn. No telling what we're going to have problems with later. Okay. Let's see if we can get this. See if we can get this turning a little better now. Well, sharpening certainly helps a little bit. But I got to get down below this groove. So I'm really going to have to get in there and get that whole groove out of there. You saw the bits and pieces coming off of there. We still got to go a little deeper, I think, but whew, still got a little bit, but that's pretty much it. Okay, get that little nipple off of there. Okay, relatively flat now. Good. That's quite a piece. So yeah, I use a faceplate. I use this mask, the whole thing. So this is my new mask, and I really like it. It's called a Powercap. Ryan from 77 Rockets who uses it also. It's not cheap. It costs a lot of money, but it only weighs a pound, 1 pound 3 ounces, I think. It's very well balanced. It doesn't have the weight on the front or the back, so it's like the batteries on the back, the filters on the front. It stays right in the middle of your head. It doesn't move around at all, and you got full vision. You got full vision from here and all the way around. It's covered, and you're not breathing. And it's got positive airflow, so you're not breathing the dust and stuff. So I mean, it really is a start getting nice ribbons, and then I get there. I get there, and I don't have any ribbons anymore. Nice ribbons anymore. Part of it's this little thing here. It's just it's rough in there for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. That should smooth it out a little bit. There. That's hot. A lot of friction there. That was a nice ride up. All right, that was a nice ride all the way up. And that really smoothed it out a lot. It's smooth except for right in here. Of course, on the edge down here. All right. So other than this big gash in the wood, that's nice and smooth now. Needs a little bit of trimming here and there. And we'll get to work on that. You see, I'm getting nice shavings now. See, I'm able to look up here and see the contours and make sure that it's nice and even going across. And get those little shearing cuts. Oh, well, there we go. Oh yeah, that feels like it's already sanded to about 120 grit sand. Just doing that. And we're starting to get curls now. Instead of that other stuff that was flying around. That was pretty bad. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Think I should go to the smock now? A worm screw could be stronger. You're absolutely right. Sometimes it is. I like the faceplate because it gives me multiple connections. It's just a preference. I don't have as much luck with the worm screws, especially on softer woods, because worm screws tend to tear out. I don't have that problem with the faceplate. So, yeah, with a hardwood like this walnut, probably the worm screw would have worked just great. But I use faceplates all the time, so I just kind of grab that first thing, you know. Yeah, it's smooth. What's weird is this dark here makes it look like it's actually a pith, but it's not. It's actually just part of the coloring of the wood. It's perfectly fine. I'm just looking to see if there anything that I should worry about before I put a tenon in here. It looks like pretty strong wood. This is a branch piece, and this is where the pith was for the branch piece. I think I'm going to put just a little bit of CA glue in here in these little holes, just to kind of strengthen them in case we come across something later. So let's see, do I want my thin or do I want my medium? I think I want my medium. Here's my medium. Oh, and I guess I gotta cut this one. is the brand new bottom. Okay. Are you going to come out? Ah. And of course, there's a cap piece too. It's nicely sealed. Okay. There we go. Okay. Good. Let that, see if that goes in. If it doesn't, I'll put some accelerant on it. So it did go in here. Man, there's a big gap in there because it's just sucking it down. So I don't know where that's going, but wherever it's going, there's a big hole in there somewhere. And it could be going all the way through to here. That's my concern, is that crack could be all the way through the wood. And if it is, I might be better off taking the bottom off this, making it a much shorter bowl. But first I want to make sure of this. That is a bit of a concern. What do you guys think? Do you think I ought to go up to here with the base and then start from there? I'm a little concerned that if it goes all the way through, if this crack is tied with this crack all the way through the bottom, we're going to have nothing there. You know, that's, I hate to say it, but I think that's what I'm going to have to do here. I hate to make a short bowl out of it, but I think discretion being the better part of valor here on this one. I just don't want to make a tenon and then have it break out because there's nothing there to hold it. So we may have to take all this off. And now that it's round, I don't really want to put it on the bandsaw, so we'll just have to take it off this way. All right. Oh, that was stupid of me. I just super glued myself. I guess I should wait for that to dry just a little bit. I'm just going to go in on the sides until I see if it keeps going through. If it keeps going through, I'll take it all off. It's the best I can do with this. Yeah, I do have a parting tool, but I want to kind of just test it first to see if it actually needs to do that all the way through. If it doesn't go all the way through, then I can, well, it's still there, and it's still here. It kind of looks that way, doesn't it? A lot of friction, too. Let's see it. Yeah. Well, we'll give it another shot here. Whew. That is hot on the hand. Damn. That friction's getting really, really hot. I gotta let it cool off just a few seconds. Burn myself. Doesn't look like it's getting any thinner. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to use a parting tool here. I've got a couple. Let's see, which one do I want to use? I actually don't pull my parting tools out very often. Get those out of there. Where is my parting tool? That's a skew. I can use a skew. Skew. Right. Maybe not. Actually, what? Use this one too. Some other rough stuff in there. like really, really rugged in there. But you know what? I'm not seeing the, Just stay with me on this one because it seems kind of odd now. Yeah, that's still in there. But now I think I can make that somewhat decorative later on. I'm going to save this piece later. So that's why I'm being careful with it, because I think I can do something else with it. How are we getting there? Okay, we're getting there pretty good. I think. Maybe I can use my saw on this part. Take the rest of it off. I just want to find the right one. I picked up a bunch of distance saws recently. That was a pretty good deal. But that's not what I want. This. I'm going to try this draw saw. See if I can do it with this. Remember, you put this walnut so it doesn't cut really easily. Yeah, I might have a more aggressive saw here. Yeah, this one's a little bit more aggressive. I'll just rest for a second there. Hey, Jose. Now, this is not the fun part of turning here. This is the fixing a problem in the wood part of turning. Tell you what, 70-year-old arms aren't the same as 50-year-old arms when it comes to sawing. I think we're getting pretty close. We can't really switch off. We're more than halfway through here. So it should be pretty soon. Sorry for the slowing down here a bit, guys. A little arthritis and so forth kind of kicks in a little bit here. If you like watching an old man's work aerobics, please, hit the like button. That would be appreciated. Boy, there we go. There we go. I knew I came through there. Good. I can now use this later on for another project. And it looks like we are clear enough. These Japanese saws are great for jobs like this. I'm going to set this aside because these are very sharp. There we go. Okay. Now it looks like I can make a bottom out of this and go from there. There. Now I'll just take out my scraper to flatten this out. Flatten this out a little bit. Okay. We'll shape out the outside here just a little. We'll shave the sides here, just on here. To get that glue stuff off of there. Nice. Ready for finishing. Something up here. Something is bouncing around right here. I'm not sure what it is. I guess it's just that. That must be what it is. There's something around. It's not quite as round as the rest of it. See it? It's just coming off in little flakes. Every time it spins around. Right there. If you have a very light touch on your tool, you'll feel and you'll see those things. You can try and correct them before they hit you later. Rough on this one too. The less rattle you got in there, the smoother your finish is going to be. All the way around. Okay. Looks pretty good. Okay, got all that. We'll put a pennant on the bottom here, if we can, and move on with things. Hey, Johnny. Good morning to the rest of you guys out there. Welcome in. Let's see how that works. This is always the problem that you have when you have really hard cross-grained wood like this, is that it tends to rip out instead of cut out. And I'll try and put a little more of an edge on this, maybe that'll help. I don't know. Maybe with just a little bit more burr. Not too much of a difference. see how that fits in the truck. Yep, fits right in there. Good. Good. All right. I think I'm going to make this just a tad deeper. Just a little bit more grip. Make sure it's nice. That's good and clean. Okay. Clean the outer edge. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right. Okay. Well, you know what? I got a little dome in the center there I want to get out. Just get that dome out of there a little bit. Don't like that doming. There we go. All right. Now, do a little bit of quick sanding on it, and then we'll go from there. It's not going to need a lot of sanding. Just kind of a cleanup sanding, I guess is what you might call it. I guess I should bring this back over into play. There we go. Put a line on here for you too. That's a good start. Go in reverse. I've got to watch that end grain a little bit. Make sure you're not getting any sprouting. Looks pretty good. Go to the next. company while you're in the shop, I guess. Now we're just kind of polishing the wood. I'm going to go one more on this one just because it is a really hard wood and you want to get as good of a finish on it as you can while you have the opportunity. I don't normally go up to 400 grit, but on something like this, I think it might be a use. Kind of polish it up a little bit more. I'm even going to do something I know a lot of you guys like to see you do. Something like this, it really doesn't do much for it. Do this. Shave it. Kind of let the thickness go a little bit of the full work. I'm going to take my mask off for just a minute here so you can actually hear me. And I think I'm going to do one more step just to see if that doesn't help the just the same. This is the same. I'm just going to put a thin coat right here. Just to kind of strengthen that wood. Little thin CA in there will just strengthen those fibers just a little tiny bit more. It doesn't really hurt anything. And it'll help give me just a little bit more help against tear out, okay? So I think for now, we're just going to brush on the little Howards on here and see if that works. Just to kind of give it a quick finish and nourish the wood just a little bit. And it does kind of make everything look a little prettier. Again, this is branch walnut. This is not the walnut from the trunk. So it's a little bit different color. It's a little bit stronger in some ways, I think. It's a little harder wood. See there? You can see some of the beautiful colorings and movements of the wood on the bottom. Not as much on the sides. It's a little more subtle on the sides. Hopefully, what you're seeing on the bottom will show through on the inside too, after we get this turned around. Okay, so that's sucking that up pretty good. All right. And we'll let that soak for just a second. Let's see here. You got all your projects ready for the week? This lesson planning is done. Oh, great. So your new class schedule's all set up for the kids, huh? What are you going to be covering with them this week? Yeah, the burnished shine. Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Okay, well, here's what it looks like after just one coat. And of course, we usually use several coats over the course of a few days to get it all done. I'm gonna have a little apple juice here, I think. We got one of those whole house water filtration systems installed this week, and it really does kind of help. I mean, it cleans all the water going into the house, so you can get clean, fresh tasting water from every tap, every place in the house. Really, it's kind of nice instead of just having to get the filtered water out of like the fridge or whatever. It does make a nice difference. It's not cheap to do, but I'm glad we had it done. So, let's see. Uh, you have no faith in the promised curriculum that will be provided. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, always have a backup plan, right? Digital digital footprint, AI, and well, teaching kids about digital footprints is really important because I don't think they have a clue sometimes just about how exposed they are and how that will affect them in the future. It's sort of like when you tell people not to take pictures of themselves unclothed or something because it can come back to when they're 25 years old and applying for a job at a with a law firm or something, and all of a sudden these pictures show up from when you were at spring break, or something like that. So, you know, uh, digital footprints go back to when there wasn't any digital, when there was just footprints, and things do have a way of showing up. It's just got much more acute now with the digital age, and much easier for people to find than it once was. But it's been there, trust me. Get in there, come on. Oh, there we go. Oops. Yeah, let's put this chuck on here. And we'll mount the bowl and see if we can get a nice flat fix on this one. Let's turn it. A tiny bit of wobble, but not much. A tiny bit. It's amazing how just the tiniest little piece of dirt or something in the wood can keep it from lining up just the way you want it. I think I can live with that. Okay. It's got a nice tight fit to it. I think I'm gonna, as much as I hate doing this, I'm gonna switch to the other banjo. Because I can get that lined up a little bit better for this. Okay. Let's see what kind of damage you can do. Bye, Pat. Thanks for dropping in. Please, everybody, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We only got like 3 subscribers the other day, and we are like 3 short of 4,700. So if we can at least get enough to get us over the 4,700 hump, that would certainly be appreciated. I'm starting to get more subs from my reviews of videos than I am from the lives. But please, it costs you nothing, and it lets you know when we're going to be on, so that you can follow along. So I really appreciate that. Just seeing how everything rides across. Okay. Okay. I think I do need to sharpen this. So I'm going to sharpen it. Right now, before we get going. Been taking quite a beating going through that walnut on the outside, so I'm not surprised. And that's what it takes to touch it up. Now let's see how we do. I think we need to go up in speed. See if that does it down. There we go. Well, you like to see the ribbons fly. There they are. The edge kind of cleaned off. See, I still got a little more groove there. I want to go a little deeper first before I go back to clean that out. I think I can raise this up just a hair. Just a little bit more. That didn't help. It went down. Really hard wood right here. Doesn't want to come out easy. Boy, that is just really hard right there. Okay, well, now that I got that cleaned off, I can go back to this, clean this off. Did I get that cleaned off? Pretty much. Okay, good. I will look up at the comments in just a second. I just want to get through this cut. So if you have any comments to make them now, and I can respond to them. is all just the forming stage. It's just kind of forming where the bowl's going to, where the inside of the bowl's going to be and all of that. And make sure you got all the little things out of the way. And then you can start really going into the bowl. So what do we got here? Yeah, nice shavings, thanks. In fact, I even shaved myself this morning. What is the trick for turning a tool handle that fits? Well, let's see, here's one I did. First of all, you're talking about fitting the tool or fitting your hand? Because I say fitting your hand is the most important thing first. You want it to feel comfortable in your hand. So for me, I had to make kind of a bigger piece. And I used oak. It's a nice hard wood, you know. And I just did it between centers basically. Just spun it and then I cut off each end. As far as drilling the hole goes, you drill the hole based on the size of the tool, and just a little bit less, so that you can put in. If you can put in a tapered, even better. It depends on the tool. This was a piece of flank steel that I turned into a negative rate scraper, which I need to regrind actually, because it's been kind of negative for me lately. It won't turn the way or cut the way I want it to, so I'm gonna have to go back and redo that. But at any rate, the tool being like so, you see it's just dull. It's not cutting right now, so I got to get back on the grinder and regrind this edge. But at any rate, yeah, I just made sure that I drilled the hole just maybe a hair under what I wanted, and you want that shank going at least this far, so it's well in there. You can glue it in. But I always worry about making it to your hand first. So as I was turning it between centers, I would put my hand on it and see how it felt. Okay. Also, this is a little bit. I mean, this is not a. This is a long tool shaft this way, so I didn't really make it a long handle. I have others that have handles that are this long, but I'm not really putting this up against my body, so I don't really need to do that as much. I'm just kind of holding it like so. So the other hand's up here anyway. It's not on the handle. So I think that's fine. So hope that helps. Again, everybody's their own. That's why you make your own handles, is so you get something that feels good to you. So I don't know if that's a good tip or not. Everybody else, feel free to jump in and put your 2 cents in there also. After all, we're a community here. We're supposed to be helping each other, right? So, yeah. In the meantime, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. You can even consider becoming a member. We do have membership for a whole 99 cents. And I do put out stuff that the members see first. And as we get more sustaining members, we will do more things out there. I wouldn't call myself a master turner. I would call myself a adventurous, maybe a little bit, but not. You never want to be pushing too hard. You want to let the tool do the cutting. If you're pushing into the wood, that's when you get it to come loose on the tenon. So Coming this, when I'm pulling this direction, I do have to put a little bit more tension on it, just to keep it in line. Now, as I'm doing that, I can't see what I'm doing here because this was on my hand and it's blocking it. I'm looking over there and seeing how close I'm getting to the wall. I can see I'm pretty close to the wall, but I'm not getting onto it. So. Probably going to need to start from this again soon. Okay. See, that's what I was hitting. That little bang, 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 bang I was getting. It's getting from this crack that comes from the outside. It goes right in here. That's a crack that's in the wood. And I don't know how far it goes down, but I'm going to be encountering that for a little while. So I got to be careful of that. And it does change how you use your tool. A lot of ribbon, huh? And it's pretty warm ribbon too, I might point out. Just a little bit. Now, one of the things you want to watch when you got something like this is you don't want to be having your tool like this because it can snag and catch, and then the whole thing will come apart. So you need to have your tool at an angle like this, so you're not engaging that break in the wood directly. You're only engaging it with the very tiny part of your tool. And only a very small amount of the actual crack. You and the very, very little tiny pieces of all it's connecting to there, so you're not, you're less likely, I should say, less likely to get a snag. Now we're getting more. Well, we also want to maintain that thickness coming down here. We don't want to start V'ing into the middle. We want to make sure that we are staying true to the edge here all the way through. And what looked like a pretty thin when we were starting now looks kind of thick, doesn't it? This looks like a quarter inch. It looked like we were like a lot thinner when we started, but we really wasn't. So we can do a couple things to fix that. But one, we can go back and change this down a bit. That'll give us a new line. And much cleaner. I can't go too thin because I got this here and I don't want to start dipping that down. So I got to be careful of that too. So. We're about halfway through now at this point. Or at least I should say we're halfway through the middle of the wood. We're right about here. We need to go down to about another half an inch or so, and we'll be ready to finish. Part of the good news, and this has a little bit to do with physics. I don't want to get into physics too much, but for those of you that are into physics, as we go down into the bowl, the center of gravity concentrates more towards the middle, which means it's pushing more into the center of the tenon and putting less pressure on the outer side of the tenon, so there's less pressure to blow it out. Okay. More about grain direction and the direction of cut. Yeah, well, the only thing I tell you, well, I've done a couple videos on grain direction and reading the wood that you might want to go back and look at. They're from like last year. But I can cover a little bit of that here too, if you like. In fact, I covered a lot of that when I was talking about turning wet or green wood. But when you're turning green wood, you got to understand what's going to happen to that wood after you're done turning the first time. How it's going to warp and everything. But
Well, that's really satisfying when you go all the way through like that, isn't it? When you go from the top all the way down and across the bottom. Kind of a satisfying thing. Okay, so let's think about this for just a second. I'll use this piece of wood here. Now, this is going to be weird because this is a quarter cut piece, and it's hard to see where the grain is. The grain is generally running, well, it's radiating out from the center here. This would be the peak. This would be the tip of the wood. So it's kind of radiating out like so from the center, okay? But it's actually also coming this way. Okay, so if you can understand it on this piece here, you can see the wood runs this is very easy to see. You can see the wood runs like this, okay? Here's the pith. That's the center of the wood there and right here. That's why we're running into this right here, because that's part of the pith or the core of the wood. So the wood is growing this direction in a big branch or whatever, okay? And this is the center of it. So all the strands are growing in this direction, up and down. So where your end grain would be right here, closest to where you see the pith area of the core of the wood. All the strands are going in this direction. So this would be end grain, side grain, end grain, side grain. Okay, side grain. Think of it this way: if this is the grains of the wood, side grain, you're just shaving this off and you're just keeping it nice and smooth. On end grain's like this, and when you're cutting, it's like mowing a lawn, and some of it bends over. It kind of bends over, and then after the cut goes by, it goes back up, or it separates a little bit. And so what happens is you get those little pithy areas, and you get those little areas where it's not quite laying down as straight as it is when you're just shaving the top of the grain. So that's the difference in the grains. Now, it's not 100% true, because when you have burled wood, the grain is going in all directions at once. And that becomes a real interesting curve. And that's what's kind of done with this curly or this burled oak, is that I've got waves going like this in that direction, but it's also radiating out from this direction. See the radiation lines going this way, but the rest of it looks like it's going this direction. See right there? So which way is the grain going? Well, it's actually going out in all directions from the core. What it's doing. So in this particular piece, you're not going to find where the end grain is until you start really turning it and seeing which way is it most predominant. Okay. So I know it's a little bit confusing, but that's the quick and short answer. And of course, then you also worry about things like when you're turning a bowl, like say this one, you can see the lines in this one are pretty straight. If this was green wood, what would happen is as it dries, these side grains are going to come in and the end grains are going to go out a little bit. And so you're going to end up with a warp like this, kind of a football shape. So I hope that kind of helps a little bit. And if you like what you just learned, hit the like button or subscribe, and you'll get more tips like this all the time. We're getting near the bottom now. And we're still encountering that crack from here. It's now here, and it's actually got a little divot in there that we have to deal with. We started off with a bowl that was going to be at least 7 inches, like about 7 inches deep, and we had to cut off part of the bottom of it because of the crack that was going through. But it was a natural crack. It wasn't a crack from drying. It was a crack that was in the wood to begin with. There we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That happens from time to time. I don't know why it happens, but it does. Okay. I'm back. What I was saying is sometimes I worry about the fact that when I'm first entering the pieces after I've turned it around, I don't want to be a little nervous, and then the other part that makes me nervous is when I get near the bottom. I'm so worried about, are you going to go too far, of course, but also please don't let me screw it up now. And what happens is you tend to go fast. You try to push because you're trying to get done. And you forget your fundamentals. And I don't know why the stream is interrupting intermittently. I think it has something to do with Xfinity because or Comcast because it says I got full Wi-Fi and everything else here. And in fact, before we started, it said I was getting 112%. So I'm not sure what's going on. And I even have backup where if I lose the internet connection, I have it jumps over to my streaming on my cell data. So it should be seamless. Well, if you just got in here or you just came back in here, please hit the like button. I'd like to see more likes than we're getting. Let's see what we got. We got 32 likes in 2 hours. Seems like we can get more than 32 likes in here, but that's up to you guys. Double tap the screen. Double tap your screen. Yeah, yeah, Jim, I had to drop a quarter of a meter. No, I don't know what's going on. It shows that I got full. Showing that I got full signal. So it could be that they're working on the Xfinity Comcast down the street somewhere or on another block, and they're interrupting service. I don't know. much bottoming out there. I think I just need to use my scraper and get a little clean up, and we should be okay. A little bit of a hump there. Just a little bit of a hump. Get that out. I think I need to raise it just a little bit. There we go. That's much better. Okay, good. I'm going to get this corner here just a little bit. Just scrape it and get in there. That's just a slightly different angle, so we got a little bit of a wear out right there. Let's see, maybe. Okay, now we can go back in there with this. And then with the scraper. I think I can sand that part out. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Alrighty. Now we've managed to get to the end of it. Slow but sure. Okay. We'll get some sandpaper in there and see if we can get that little corner kind of cleaned out. Okay, we'll try it in reverse. Nice and smooth. One more grip. Good enough. Good. Take off the mask. Put on the finish here. I'm gonna try and dust that out just a little bit first. We're going to put some Howards on here. Just put that in there like so. Yeah. We are. Do the outside one more time just to knock a little dust off and get a little. And then see, it sucked all that up. So I can put a little bit more in there. Here we go. side here we get to. I've got some excess on the brush. And this is just about finished. At least for now. We managed to get through that with all the difficulties and having to cut off part of it. Working on our welcome sign.
We finished it, I kind of finished it up. It's a lot better.
Let's see what it looks like.
It was different, all
Here's
bright
our-
colors.
There's our welcome sign that June's been working on. So looks nice.
Thanks, I like it.
Yeah, good job. Of course, now that encourages people to come and knock on our door. Okay, well, that's what we, you shouldn't put a welcome sign out if you don't actually want people to come and visit. So, okay, we'll buff this out just a little bit. And let you see the results. Have to get out of there. I'm gonna have to put that back on and get rid of that tool mark, but okay. Sorry guys. Here's the tool. Here's the finished product. You can see the view of it all the way around. I like the bottom, that color in there. Some of that on the inside, but I don't like this little tool mark here on the bottom here. So I'm gonna go back and I'll probably fix that up, but later. But just wanted to give you guys a chance to see it. That's the bull for today. What do you think? And we got this other piece, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this. I think this is a piece that we cut off. Now, I think this would make a great, if I get it all polished out and sanded and everything, I think this would make a great pen holder. You know, like if you put a pin stem here, and then you can put a pin in it, and it'll be on somebody's desk. So that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to attach this. I'm going to work this all out, make it maybe just a tiny bit smaller, have this kind of domed look to it, maybe a little bit flat on top, and I think that's what we're going to end up. Yeah, so that's the other part of this. Okay, so we'll show you that in another episode, so to speak. I think that'll work out really good. Boy, do I have a lot on the floor. Jeez, and on me. It's not on my sock. And you notice my wife didn't say anything about the smock yet. I'll probably have to beat myself against a rock and to get all the stuff off of here. Like Jim said, don't if you're going to do something like this, I think you need to volunteer to do the laundry yourself, which is probably what I'll end up doing. But yeah, and the nice thing about doing the tenon like this is I can put this back on here, and I can still. There we go. I can go back and I can fix that, and I don't have to worry about it, reattaching or anything like that. It's right there. I can just do it. So I'll work on that.
Just a little bit. Maybe I can use this one. Let me see. Maybe I can get in there with this. Okay. And maybe with see if I got that out of there. Yeah, that did. Okay, good. Now I can just go back and sand that out, and I can redo that bottom. So this is kind of, I can give you a little behind the scenes. This is what I do sometimes after the videos. Clean things up a little bit. Cool. That works great. Feels much better. Just that little get a rake scraping overhead there. That. And then do this one. There, you got a little bonus. Yeah, I knew my battery was dying. Right at the end. Okay. Okay, now I can finish that off. I think it'll look better. A little more Howards. And I know I don't have it in the description at this moment, but I usually put Howards as in the description if you need to know where to get it. You can get it anywhere, but if you want a connection to it, I'll put it in the description. And when this video is up for viewing on the channel site, you'll be able to go in there and you can look and see. Or you can look at a lot of my other recent videos. You'll see that how to get to the Howards to get some of that if you want. It's like I said, it's readily available, but I just put that up there to make it easy for some of you to find and use. So yeah, that got rid of a lot of that tool marking that was in there. There we go. And that's one of the reasons I like to put a simple finish on first, because it gives you a chance to kind of eyeball what's going on in there. Okay, I get some more. It's just sucking this stuff up, so I know that it's hungry for some of this. As fast as I'm putting it on, it's just kind of soaking in. And that's where the orange oil kind of helps the beeswax get in there. Now, a lot of times I would also use my tung oil finish, but I don't think I need to use the tung oil finish on this. It's a very dense walnut because it's on the branches and they tend to be a little denser. But it does like this stuff. Boy, as fast as I put it on there, it just disappears. So this is kind of the process I go through after the fact. A lot of times when you guys are not on the video, all these little extra steps to make it show worthy for putting out for sale. Because trust me, when you get into the sunlight, it looks a lot different than it does in shop light. Shop light is one thing, but sunlight is a whole different animal. Now this is soaking in basically in the beeswax and the Howard's wax, and so all I'm doing here is basically just helping spread it out a little bit into the wood, because this is just saturated with it. Okay, so we're just kind of burnishing that out a little bit, and then I can use a clean cloth, well, relatively clean cloth, to kind of buff it off afterwards. And I'm not going to use a high speed right now. Just want to get this buffed out. We can go a little higher speed. Okay, it has a nice soft finish to it. I'll show you again so you can see how that improved it. See there? Much better finish on the bottom. There we go. And that's deepening, that is deepening. Now, as this dries a little bit, because this is a wet look right now, as this dries, this will lighten up and you'll see more of the grain. I mean, you can see it here, but it will be a little bit lighter after it's sat out in the sun for a little while today and dried out some. And so it'll look a little bit easier to see, the grains and so forth. And I think this will be a nicer bowl. It ended up pretty nice. I'm happy with it. It's not the piece that I wanted to make originally, but you know, it's what it is. Hey, Michael, welcome back. Mr. Whacking Shack is in here. Whoa, good to see you, Mike. How much longer in the school year? I don't know. I don't know how much time he has in the school year. Let's see. May 21st is the last day of assignment. Wow. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Glad you finally got up. Um, just kidding. I'm sure you were probably at church and doing your devotional family duties for the day. Anyway, I will be getting off here so the rest of you guys can do your lives and probably have a lot more people in there than I do because I'm not drawing that many people right now. I think I got 22 at the moment, or maybe 26. I'm growing. Those 4 of you that just came in here, please hit that like button and subscribe. Please, we need the likes and we really need the subscribe. Okay. 2 days off between now and summer. Wow. You can't hit it anymore. Michael, don't you have like about 6 different accounts, and can't you have your kids come in and hit one too? Don't get lost on the way to the bottom. Yeah, well, yeah, we don't want to get lost on the way to the bottom. I am going to do this other piece next week. I think you kind of inspired me to do this now. I'm going to try and make a well, not kind of a wing bolt, but kind of a winged set in. We're going to turn it, put a tenon on one side, and we're going to wing these out, and then we'll put a bowl in the middle of it. And I've done this before, and it really looks great. I'm not sure if I want to square it up or if I want to leave it unsquared like it is. What do you think? Should I leave it kind of unsquared, or do you think I should square all 4 sides up and make it real? Because when you do that, you're kind of like saying, okay, I want it to be perfect, and I'm not sure if I want it to be perfect, but
Tell me what you guys think. Should I square it up? So I can square it up to either side. I can use this as a square and I can cut right across here and square it. Or I could leave it the way it is and just let the wings hang where the wings hang. Leave it as is, huh? That's what Michael says. What do the rest of you say? Because I gotta make sure I can turn this. Yeah, it's fine. I can turn it. Okay. You've got a couple of odd ones, and they turn fine. Yeah, they do. And like I said, it's gonna wing up, so these are gonna be the corners. But I think this is a nice thick piece, and this is it's kind of odd because this is where the pith is right here. So this is a quarter saw. This is a quarter from the pith. If you were looking at the piece of wood, this is the round piece. There's the pith. Okay, so that's the only thing I have to worry about a little bit is the pith going to be strong enough, and it looks like it is, to hold it, and I'm not going to lose it here either because this is my other concern right here. So I may lose that. It's a possibility. So I'm going to have to be really careful as I'm coming up. This is going to have to be the bowl top. This is going to have to be the bottom so that I can come up and maybe cut some of that out without tearing it out. So that's what I mean about reading the wood. There's a lot to look at when you're setting up a piece like this. Okay. It's going to be a little cool but abstract. Yeah, that's what you're saying. But I done one of these before, and people really kind of went to it. You know, when I put it up for sale, because it's not just a bowl. You know, it's not just a bowl. It's like a bowl with some personality to it. People like that, and I say, look, it's got a handle. I mean, because it's flat right here, you can hand people nuts and stuff. You know, it's got a handle to it, and they like that idea too. So yeah, okay, guys. Well, we'll work on doing this next week. We do it live every Thursday, although I'm thinking of changing that date because Thursday seems to attract nobody. So if I wasn't doing on a Thursday, what other day of the week would you like me to do it? You can't wait, just say that. Well, don't get too excited. I got to spread these things out, otherwise I'd run out of wood in a week. I've probably got 60 or 70 pieces. In fact, up the street there's a great big piece of a tree they just cut down, but it was too heavy for me to get out of there. So if I can't, I'm going to have to try and either talk to them and say, hey, if you give me this piece of wood and help me get in my truck, I will make you a bowl out of part of it. That may be one way of doing it. But it's a big green piece of wood. It's about yay big by this big, and it's underneath a bunch of other brush, so I'd have to really move everything around. But I'm not sure. It might be an elm. I'm not sure. But it's green, so it's green, and you can turn it now and not worry about what kind of wood it is. So So yeah, hit the likes, guys. But I'm gonna get off of here. It's almost 10 o'clock my time, which means I've been on here for 2.5 hours or so. Let's see, I was on here at 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. Yeah, 3.5 hours. No, 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. So 2.5 hours is enough. We only got one bowl out of it. Wasn't hoping I wouldn't have to spend as much time as I had to get this into shape, but it was a little bit of a struggle. It was a hard piece of wood. And sometimes you run town, you get into that. But you know what? That's what makes the such a fun thing to do is because when you're doing this, you never know what you're going to do until you get into a piece of wood. You absolutely don't have any idea how easy or how hard it's going to be sometimes. The tenon held very well once we got down in here, and that little CA glue trick that I showed you really helped out a lot also. Okay, so you might consider that in the future. Use that CA, and you can't even see that I use the CA glue because the finish absorbs into the same piece of wood, so it's not like it's darkened it and you won't be able to you'll look the different. It doesn't look any different. It just looks like the CA glue. And I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit more of a finish sanding on this. It looks like it's just a little bit rough on the bottom, so I may go out with the palm sander and just kind of palm sand that down a little bit after it's dried. But I'm gonna get this out in the sun, let it get some sun and warm air and cure a little bit. And I really do thank you guys all for being here today, especially Jim. I appreciate you being here for the whole time. And Wilson, you've been here in and out most of the time too. For the rest of you, I really thank you. And
please hit the like button on your way out. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That way you're notified when we are going to be doing another live. This one kind of was kind of spontaneous, but hopefully the other ones, yeah, Eric, I gotta go, but Eric, I assume you're already, Eric, I assume you are already a subscriber. So if you are a subscriber, great, you'll be notified when I'm doing my next live. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It costs you nothing, and then you'll catch us the next time. Okay. So yeah, I want to make room for other people to do theirs. I don't know if Mike is doing a Sunday Spun Day today. Are you? Let us know. As a matter of fact, and check out the other guys' channels. Check out Jim's Soldier Farms. Check out the Whacking Shack. Check out Wilson's site. Because these guys, in fact, guys, put your sites on here before I get off of here, and let everybody know where you're at. Okay. If not, you can go into the description area. I've got them listed in the description area, and you can see them there. So just tap the description area, and it will give you. Okay, you should be going live around 2:30, which is your time, which is about 12:30 my time. So about 2.5 hours from now is what you're saying. About 2.5 hours from now. There's a soldier right there. Good. Wilson, you want to put yours up there? Or Eric, you want to put yours up there if you got put yours up there too. I leave it open for all of you guys to put your channel up there so everybody can see it. Okay, guys. Well, yeah, check them all out. They're all putting out a lot of stuff. Jim's putting out stuff almost every day right now. And every time I look up, there's another live highlight from you. I don't know where you're getting all the highlights, quite honestly. But I do appreciate you all being in here. And again, hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you can, or become a member. We have memberships for 99 cents. Jump in there, and guys, I'm through for the day. I'm gonna go and get this sawdust off me and explain to my wife why I didn't wear my smock. So we'll talk to you all later.